Hello. Um, yes, hello from Southampton, quiet, riot-free Southampton. Yeah, I'm just going to say a few words about the riots, okay? Because I've had people from all over the place. You know, I hope you're all right. Is everything okay? Is the glow of the fires? Can you see? All this sort of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, well, to be perfectly honest with you, the large proportion of Britons remained at home. They continued their lives as normal. They listened to their Elgar. They sipped their Earl Grey tea, and we didn't get involved in this. This is the problem with 24-hour news media, where they've got nothing better to do than to create a story. Now, yes, there were riots. Yes, there was damage and all sorts of horrendous things happened. Um, However, this was done by a small minority of people. The policing of it was, and I think this will come out in the days to come, was pretty atrocious. You had these groups of individuals, and the kind of the convenient uh, portrayal of these people so far has been that they're young hoodlums with hoodies. However, reading in the newspaper only yesterday, uh, there's teachers, people with good jobs, all getting involved in this looting. It's obscene, really. So to blame kids, to be honest with you, since the 1990s and New Labour, there's been this kind of gradual demonisation of young people. The expression hoodies is sort of as a collective expression to describe them. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, I have a few views on the whys and wherefores of these things happening. I'm not going to share them with you because this isn't about politics, but everything's fine. Southampton, not a dicky bird, the usual sort of, and most of England. I mean, to be honest with you, a few isolated spots in London. I have two friends in London. The way it's being reported, oh my goodness, I've contacted both of my friends who live in London. One of whom lives in Hackney, not a dicky bird. Yes, areas of Hackney were affected, but as I say, these are little explosions of criminality, and on the whole, nobody affected. And to be perfectly honest with you, the demographic of this criminality, which was conveniently put down to young kids in gangs, it simply wasn't the case. Teaching assistants, teachers, shop workers, a whole list of the unusual suspects. But anyway, enough of that. But for those of you who've contacted me and asked me if I'm in one, I appreciate the thought, and I am indeed in one piece. Anyway, on with the video. This week I bought this book, The Pipe Companion. It was published a few years ago, so it's a little out of date. But it's an interesting read. It's not a book about pipes. It's a book more about pipe makers and around the world, and that's in itself been quite interesting to have a look at. I have a modest collection of books on tobacco and pipes and things like that, and I'm rather pleased I got it. Yeah, so that's been my read. I bought this, which is a little pipe bag. I got it off of eBay. It's in absolutely fantastic nick. Sadly, the person I smoked, I think it smoked an aromatic, but you can hardly notice it. It's got room for two pipes, and let me just unzip it for you. It's got room for two pipes, pipe cleaners and a pipe tool and a lighter. It's quite nice. It's in burgundy, which is a colour I associate with the 1980s for some reason. I don't think anything these days is made in burgundy, but in the 1980s everything seemed to have, you get burgundy furniture, burgundy wallets, burgundy trousers. I remember as a young man, in fact, it was very fashionable where I was, which was a little rural market town, to wear burgundy stay-pressed trousers with matching loafers. and white socks, which to be honest, thank goodness I've no photographs of me in those days wearing said burgundy stay pressed trousers. Yeah, so anyway, nice little pipe bag. Picked it up for a song on eBay, and as I say, it's an absolutely perfect nick. And other than the colour, I don't mind the burgundy. It reminds me of my youth. Yeah, it's nice. So yeah, so that's a couple of things I picked up this week. Yep, smoking an 1880s William H. Carrington pipe. I bought this a couple of 3 years ago off of eBay. I paid about £6 for it. It was in okay sort of nick. I'd get, a little clean and whatnot. It smokes absolutely fine. The walls are absolutely as thin as anything, but it's very cool smoke, and the pipe stays relatively cool as well. It's a little silver band, which is in pretty good nick as well. I was able to give a rough estimation of the date because the marks on it are a little worn, and I haven't got a loop to take a look at them. But there's if I remember, I'll put the link in. There's a very good site that has pipes and silver marks, and it tells you the makers or the seller's mark. So WHC in this case, Carrington's in Manchester, and other such identifying things, which is quite handy. The other pipe I'm going to show you, this is for you, and actually tobacco burner. This is the other one I got of WHC, again made in the 1888. I think this one was made. They did read the marks for this one because they're absolutely crisp on it. Because the pipe, basically, I think the guy got the pipe. It's tiny, little sort of like Group 2. I think he smoked it, and when I got it, the bowl was absolutely chocker with and I sent it off to Dr. Pipe to get it reamed and cleaned and all the rest of it. And it's, as I say, it's an absolute. You wouldn't think if I showed that pipe to someone and said, "How old do you think that pipe is?" I doubt they'd come up with 1888 for it. I think they'd probably say a couple of 3 years old because it's in that good a nick. Yeah, so it's a nice little pop. I smoke flakes in this, and which leads me on to the other thing I've got, which wasn't so good to be honest with you, was this roller gas lighter. It came as a job lot, the pipe bag. I only wanted the pipe bag really, and as I say, I paid 20 quid for it all. Some pipe cleaners, a pipe tool, which I already got, but I've now got another check pipe tool, and this roller gas lighter. Now I've gassed the lighter, but unfortunately, even on its highest mark, you just get a really small flame, so it's about as much use as a chocolate fire guard. It's there you go, Nico. Yeah, but it would be nice because I'm getting a little fed up with using these damn things. But anyway, so what am I smoking? I'm smoking some walnut flake by Ogden's of Liverpool. I've got a few pictures which I'll put on the factory there. It's Thomas Ogden. He basically, I think, a little like Carrington's, was a kind of fancy goods shop and tobacconist in Liverpool, and he started the business in 1860, and Ogden's gradually grew into quite a large company. They say based in Liverpool, a very large factory with a very wide range of pipe tobaccos. Walnut flake, which I was inspired to smoke by one of Bruno's videos. So when I was at Clive's the other day, picking up a few bits for Paul, by the way, it'll be on its way, mate, in the next couple of days. Picked some things up for Paul and myself. It's a kind of Lakelandy flake. It's very pleasant. But yeah, they used to make St Julian, Aintree, to name but a few. But they now are owned by Imperial Tobacco, which is a very big tobacco making concern. I believe I did a little bit of research. I believe they still have a factory in Liverpool, and indeed you can see a video of it. But to be perfectly honest with you, the person has just videoed a number of storage bins in the factory. Not very interesting. I was quite excited to see a link to it when I was looking for things about Ogden's, and it wasn't very exciting at all. So I've got some exterior photos of the old factory. I don't know whether that's still in operation, as I say, and a couple of the turbines they used to do to power the place, which were rather impressive. Huge factory. These days, really, the Ogden brand is limited to walnut flake and St Bruno, which comes in a ready rubbed or a flake version. I love St Bruno. Major Gibbons, who was the headmaster of a school I went to in Winchester, Major Gibbons used to smoke St Bruno. He used to always have these massive billiard pipes. Not massive in the pipe friend CHS way massive, but you know, an extra large billiard. And you'd always see him at his desk in a great pool of smoke and firing it up, you know, it was a memory of mine. And as I say, I loved the smell of it then when I was a kid, and I like smoking it now. This has been my first try of walnut flake, not today. I had that, I opened it a couple of days ago, and I have to say, it is quite similar, subtly different to St Bruno. It's a lovely smoke, and I will be getting another packet again, I should imagine. The flakes come in this little sealed box. They're very, very thin, so they're very easy. I personally, I used to fold and stick the flakes in the pipe, but to be honest with you, I found that doing that one-handed, I could do it, but not satisfactorily, really. So what I do is I break them up now, roughly, and then pack the pipe that way. And I find they smoke perfectly well like that. Oh, and I'll tell you another thing that Ogden's made at Ogden's factory now. J and H Wilson, not Wilsons of Sharrow, but the other Wilsons that make medicated number 99 and SP number 1, which is snuffs. They are now made at the Ogden's factory. I think Imperial Tobacco again bought out J&H Wilson and moved it, which is surprising because a lot of the time they buy up these brands. So Freiberg and Trier were bought by Imperial Tobacco. Freiberg and Trier, very famous snuff shop in the Haymarket in London. I think primarily they bought it for that shop, sold the shop, sold the brands, and you know, acid stripped Freiberg and Trier, and now the snuffs are made by Wilsons of Sharrow. But they didn't do well. They obviously did do it with J&H Wilson, but they continue to make the snuff, and as I say, Ogden's in Liverpool. So a shadow of its former self as a tobacco manufacturer, but still St Bruno, one of the great tobaccos, I think, and it is reflected in its popularity, and widely available in the UK. Yeah, so all in all, that's been my week. As I say, riot free. Yeah, so there we go. So anyway, I hope I still have very good information. I hope there's a little bit of information on this, but you know, sadly, what I have found is that you know, you can go to tobacco reviews and you can get lots and lots of people's opinions about tobaccos and a little bit of information. The walnut flake, they didn't even have Ogden's of Liverpool down as the producer, which is, you know, doesn't reflect very well on tobaccoreviews.com that they failed to do that. You know, I know a lot of English tobaccos are now made abroad, but however, and that's always seems to be noted, but you know that the failed to put Ogden's of Liverpool seemed a little second rate on the part of tobaccoreviews.com, but there we go. So anyway, yeah, it's been a good week. I've been enjoying lots of videos. I've particularly been enjoying Daily Puffers videos. They were, um, if you haven't subscribed to his videos, if you go to my channel page, I've favorited a couple of my most recently favorited things. So go and check them out. Did a wonderful review of a Tobacco Esoterica blend called Stonehaven, which, strangely enough, it's made within the United Kingdom on the island of Jersey by Germans, and you can't get it for love. It's like hen's teeth, I think. It's as rare as hen's teeth. Yeah, you can't get it. You can get all the Germans blends, which are okay. Um, I tried their Royal Jersey Perique mixture, which was excellent. The one that I cannot abide, they do a plum cake, and it's like visually you look at the tin and it looks like hand rolling tobacco. And to be honest with you, it's nasty. It didn't do it for me at all. Um, yeah, so check out his videos, and yeah, well, I hope you all have a good week. Sorry, there should have been a video this week with the professor. Well, not sadly, we went out for lunch yesterday, but with his 15-year-old twins in tow. They're both very nice young men, straight A students, but I didn't think they'd really be up for listening to me and his dad rabbiting on and doing real ale reviews and snuff reviews, so we didn't bother. The professor, however, he had a terrible. They went down for a long weekend. The kids are on holiday at the moment to Brighton, and found a proper tobacconist there because he had this terrible cold, and was able to purchase some snuff from them. So he was very happy about that. And yesterday he spent most of the afternoon tucking into it with some Glitcher Prise by Porschels. Sadly, the chap didn't have any English snuffs, which was rather disappointing, I think, for an English tobacconist. But what can you do? But at least there's a tobacconist, and Paul assured me there was a fantastic selection of pipes and pipe tobacco. Anyway, there we go. So anyway, have a great weekend. Don't panic if you're English. I'm sure you're not going to be troubled by the rioting. Take care. Where is it? Where is it? Good boy. Come on.